All right, we're back, folks, with the founder of Less Government, Seton Motley, and radio host Kevin Jackson. And what's the new book's name, Kevin, coming out?
How to Be a Race Pimp for Fun and Profit.
How to Be a Race Pimp for Fun and Profit. Okay, there you go. I thought we'd get a chuckle out of you, Seton. I love the title, and I can't wait to see the book. We'll have you on for it, obviously. Let me start with you, Seton. There's so many places to go here. What do you make of Eric Holder ordering a third autopsy? Reportedly saying get those blankety-blank tanks off the street and telling the police in the beginning not to release the video of the robbery in the store?
Well, I guess they want to keep testing until they get the results they like. Is that the approach? I'm sure they didn't like the results with the marijuana in the system. My dog's going nuts. Sorry.
That's all right. I have one at home. It's okay.
Arrest that dog.
It's 9 months old. Sorry. No, I mean, this is absurd. And we go through these cycles with these race hustlers, and I think Mr. Jackson will agree with this, where there's too many cops in the neighborhood, so they complain that it's racist. So then the cops go away, the crime rate skyrockets, and then they complain that there's not enough cops in the neighborhood. And right now, because of all the rioting, they have riot retaliation equipment there. You can say it's bizarre that they're getting surplus military equipment, and in many instances I would agree. When they're doing stuff like this, when they're doing stuff like this, you have to say, well, there's got to be a little bit of a justification for extra equipment and extra manpower to deal with what they're doing to their town.
Right. Kevin, is this just a natural extension of what we should expect from this Justice Department?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, they wanted to put Ron Johnson in control. He's in control. The rioting increased. It has nothing to do with color. It has, and blacks want to increase the number of cops. Jesse Jackson asked why there aren't more black cops, because there aren't black kids that want to be cops. They hate the cops. You're taught to hate the cops. So what do you want? You want your cake or you want to eat it?
What about the National Guard and the end of the curfew? Apparently, the Missouri governor, and we're going to talk to the lieutenant governor very shortly on this show, bypassed the White House and just ordered out the National Guard. Kevin, is that something that, I mean, they have a right to do it?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the highest authority in the land, and I'm not going to go into the politics of how they do the sheriff and stuff, but the fact of the matter is that is his role. And it's unfortunate that he's having to do this, because the bigger picture is it showcases the lunacy in the liberal black community that a kid gets killed and you got to increase police presence, you got to bring in the military to get things under control.
Yeah, and Seton, you know, the media. I was saying to Kevin during the break, this is a media-driven event. You got Don Lemon out there on CNN now talking to a woman who claims that a protester was just slammed to the ground and treated brutally. I mean, it just doesn't end.
Well, look, they think they've got another 1968 moment, or 1964 moment where they can push forward the struggle, the Al Sharpton civil rights struggle. And again, in reality, they have a very flawed martyr in this gentleman who was shot, and they can't seem to grasp the fact that then is now. I'm sorry?
Kevin, final word, Kevin, quickly.
To that point, if you flip the script on this, have a black cop shoot a white kid, ask yourself what would the blacks be doing?
All right, guys, well, very informative, very passionate. Thank you both very much. Founder of Less Government, Seton Motley, and radio host Kevin Jackson. We'll be back with the columnist for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Jack Kelly, and columnist for Haaretz, James Kirchick, after this break. But first, this hour's American Moment, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to take a look at the making of the Camp David Peace Accords. Don't go away.
It's a region of the world that has known little peace since the beginnings of recorded history. But in September of 1978, President Sadat of Egypt, Prime Minister Begin of Israel, and President Carter of the United States set out to change that. Initiated by the Egyptian leader's proclamation that he would be willing to travel anywhere, even Jerusalem, to seek peace, President Carter persuaded the two former enemies to meet with him at Camp David to seek a lasting peace. On the 17th of September, 1978, the Camp David Accords were signed, returning the Sinai to Egypt and creating a framework by which Palestinians could have autonomous and self-governing control over the West Bank and Gaza. During the announcement, President Carter was clear more work needed to be done.
The questions that have brought warfare and bitterness to the Middle East for the last 30 years will not be settled overnight.
In 1978, President Anwar Sadat and Prime Minister Menachem Begin were awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Jimmy Carter's Nobel Prize would come later in 2002 for his decades of work seeking solutions to international conflicts. You're watching An American Moment on Newsmax TV.